Really just to cover my chest here. Some people might like, some people might not. And you can't please everybody, but I will try. I'm just gonna put the AC on. Sorry, I meant to do that before. Do that. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna start with some music, and then we'll go into topics. Uh, the pillows behind me that I should not be feeling like not supported. But kind of. And then hopefully this will. Well, I don't know what to sing or say until there's people here. I mean, sure, there's always the after, but I guess you know what it really is that when I have conversations into my videos, it's almost always during live. I did I looked at some of my started to kind of browse through, but not necessarily watch some of my recent lives, and there was one from I think just the other day that did get a comment afterwards that I didn't notice. I mean, some I'm not going to say none do. Um, it was just this was a good video. I'm hoping the person elaborates a bit more. And that wasn't sarcasm, but because that was the topic. But and I almost didn't notice it, but live I always will. And I've heard this song occasionally, but I don't know if I've ever played it. And there was somebody there just as I was about to, but it looks like they've left. And no, I just feel like, I mean, yeah, sure, people can watch afterwards. And, some will like and occasionally comment. But it just feels like I'm, no offense to anybody that does see afterwards, but while live, if I'm doing something when there's nobody here, it just feels like I'm playing to nothing. I'm speaking to nothing, just a screen in a empty void, so to speak. So it's kind of a cool pattern. I think that I can do most of this song all right, though. So I really should heat up my coffee, actually. I'm thinking I might. Although, I do something kind of unique. Apparently, in like um, certain countries, Europe and stuff, people put salt in their coffee. Um, I kind of sometimes do that, but I also do something else. I don't want to be judged for it. And no, it's not what some people might be thinking. And no, it's not alcohol. And it's not really even all that weird considering that they do kind of make coffee with this kind of flavoring. However, they don't put the actual thing in it, like in solid form. I don't know. We all have our different unique things that we do, right? But the one time, and it's a bit of a also to remember because it's something else. The one time that I was drinking coffee one live, because I guess I don't often. Usually, I I drink coffee first, and then I certainly feel kind of still slow this morning, and like I could, but and it is only 10 o'clock. But well, I guess I started this just before 10 then. But I just felt like I was mostly ready to come live. I that's it. Felt like I was just putting it off and taking too long. It's nicer than I expected out today, so I may or may not be going out. But anyway, so and first of all, my throat's been a little bit iffy lately anyway, but also because of that, especially when I'm talking, it feels like talking or singing. Um, it kind of gets to my throat. So, and I don't want that to distract from things. Now, I looked at a few songs today, and I don't think this is one of them where I kind of sort of thought this requires more than just me to perform it. But whether it was or whether it wasn't, right now I just have me. Uh, so I'm going to just try and roll with that. And I really think it's not that I don't talk well or that I don't say worthwhile things or whatever, but I really think it makes sense when somebody tunes in to try doing music. I remember one bit. Well, oftentimes that doesn't happen. I'm kind of, but like I'm usually just talking. But I do remember one particular video doing especially well when I was simply doing music. But then it varies. It's mixed. But I would say that my telling songs and telling speaking about things in song is very powerful as well. And isn't music interesting that, right? It is. We'll see if anybody mentions that. And that, I'm not really sure how to bring into it. I'd like to, but I'm not really sure how. I'll give that a bit more time. And then this, I need input about. But it's interesting how people have different energy levels and how that can change due to things, and how chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not, and how some people strongly feel the need to have more things to keep them busy. Some people are okay not being that busy, and other people wish they maybe had less things to do. Um, and wouldn't it be nice if we could all find balance and purpose and be, I was going to say managing life, but I mean, some people maybe don't struggle with it as much. Managing, I don't know how to put it. How would you put it if you know what I'm trying to get at? But anyway, so I've kind of looked at the topics that I personally have brought forth. Um, Maybe not in great depth, which might mean that I do it in a future video, might mean that I do it a little later in this video. Because, people might, it doesn't happen super often, oddly. I think people just come in and think, okay, let's see what I'm going to say about the topic. Just like sometimes when I get an idea and I think, okay, yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. It could be a good thing to talk about, but then I don't really think anything else until I start rolling and let it be organic and very free spirited, because that's kind of a lot of how I am. Other people, they might not sit. Very few people. She might be one of them, but very few people would sit for a moment and think, "What would I hope to get out of this video, or what would I hope to contribute?" Uh, and then do so. So I do think a lot of times people come in and they're just kind of But I know that not everybody's like that. And I'm not saying it's bad either, although when I'm kind of not sure how to kind of bring a topic in that other than the topic itself, it's helpful to have other people kind of speak on it. Kind of, kind of, kind of help start into the topic, right? So, but nobody's here right now. So, well, I know what some people would say about some of the music that I'm thinking I'm gonna play, including this first song. They'd say you don't necessarily need people or viewers, and I almost prefer digital audience when it goes well. It's not that I don't like. I'm just not used to it these days, and struggle with whether you want to call it rejection or kind of like people that aren't giving me as much attention as I, whether it's like for busking or whatever. The people that just walk by me or any other busker, to be honest. I mean, they might enjoy passing by it, and enjoy it in that brief moment. And I understand people can be busy, but it's kind of like I can't. I mean, it's hard enough when it happens on here. Like, I mean, I don't want to say hard, but it's annoying enough, or whatever you want to call it. But it'd be, I wouldn't say anything likely, and I don't busk very often. I wouldn't say, hey, come back here and listen to me. But I might think it, like, or think like, why didn't you stop? It's not that I don't have talent, kind of thing. Not to sound have an ego, just mostly I have confidence, and or even like people that are like in a venue, and so they may come for the live music, but the live music is the background. I'm not gonna be like, oh, but and that's fine. But then I would find it a little too noisy and distracting, possibly. But also, it's kind of like, yeah, it's the thing as a performer and an entertainer. We, and a human, to be honest, we all feel the need to, and should have this sometimes be heard, seen, and felt. So I wonder if I should make some tea. I don't usually drink tea, but I've had a bit of coffee and some of that loaf, which had probably some sugar in it. And I feel like I need some. I mean, I have cold water here, but I feel like or cold-ish, like I need something like tea. I'm not a big tea drinker, and it makes me think of a couple people in my life. One I've lost touch with, one I just don't talk with very often, and there was almost going to be an opportunity at her workplace, but nothing against me. It would be working with kids, which I haven't had a lot of experience with, and I'm not really sure if I'd really like it. Um, it would depend on the kids. Also, the way that society sees even something like art therapy and needing a degree is annoying. And then also, um, I have a feeling like it was a small office and mostly women, but I didn't even know it was in the neighborhood because I think it may have been new. I didn't. I don't know if I actually found out. And it was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. This could have a good opportunity for me. But then, as things sometimes are for me, more than I would like to say, and again, it's not necessarily like that was a perfect example of it's not necessarily a me reason. It's just you know, didn't just simply didn't pan out. Um, and when I found out those other facts, I didn't really even try for it too any further, and I think that makes sense. Even if I don't think that the see, I'm such a non-avid tea drinker. I don't know if I can put the tea bag in the microwave, so I will. I don't know if it would burn. I don't think so because it is in water, but now this particular tea is kind of an interesting tea, and I don't know. I mean, it's early enough still that I would probably be okay putting a bit of sugar in it, so I probably will. Sorry, I'm moving around. I didn't want to put this on the microwave with the microwave running, so and the stuff on the counter. But it's an antioxidant, should be a dent, but it's antioxidant, vitamin C, apple cinnamon turmeric thing. And actually, I just had the last bag. Super herbal tea. So it sounds like it'd be very flavorful. Maybe if you leave the tea bag in, but long enough. I don't know. It's kind of interesting how that splashed on there, little rose. The other day when I had it, and I had the tea bag in for about 10 or 15 minutes, I didn't really. It had an interesting taste, but a very mild one. And so I think I'm going to want some sugar. It's also something else I feel like I want to very quickly do, and that does feel in the sauce may not be right. I really don't. Oh, right. Oops. Got some sugar on the floor there. Well, at least I think you did. Oh, the joy of having white cupboards, eh? This has been I don't even know in the 17 minutes that there's been anybody along the top, which is very rare if there hasn't been. Fairly rare. But it may not have been. I just want to let this sit for a bit and then see if it does need any sugar. It's certainly getting a pretty dark color. Almost tastes a little bit stronger than it did the other day, even though the tea bag's not been in it as long. It's kind of odd. But yeah, it's also a little bit odd that, I mean, there's been brief moments where I've not been looking, and sometimes people only say briefly because they're I feel too quick to decide whether they're going to like it or not, or to judge something. I don't know. I feel like a bit repetitive sometimes in the things I say, but I do it because each video could bring people that have never been here and heard me say it before. I mean, it's only true. So, I mean, the reasons may or may not be personal, but how can you not feel that it is a little bit, right? I don't know if I have this hot enough. It's like it's warm. I don't want it too hot, but I think it could stand to be a smidgen hotter. The other thing, too, is that sugar can sometimes irritate the throat a little bit. So, it looks like I may have had time to very quickly run upstairs for a moment. But I didn't know. I didn't want somebody to tune in, especially a first-timer who's not like, okay, I know, I'm familiar with this person. I'd love to chat with him. Hopefully he'll be back soon. That I could almost understand. I'd wait a few quick minutes out of curiosity if I'd never seen the person before, whether it was because of the topic or, various reasons. I'd be like, oh, what's this going to be about? Who's in it? Who's the star? All of us. Pretty much. But I try not to. And if If you're guessing why I do sometimes briefly leave the screen, see, now it's a little bit cold and it might curl. And you're guessing why I do sometimes do that. Your guess may be right. And for anybody who wants to say, well, why don't you take care of that before you start rolling then? Let's say mind your business. Just kidding. This is YouTube, and so. But no, the truth is I do. But I still, yeah. Anywho, I think I'm ready to go back in there now. So perfect timing. I'm just made some tea. And if it's morning where you're at and you're thinking, or I don't know, I personally think that coffee, but you know what? They both can be caffeinated, and they both can have sugar. I don't know. I sometimes think, oh yeah, tea drinker. No judgment, but it's kind of like, do you also drink coffee? Because if not, judgment. Just kidding. But no, like I said, I very rarely drink tea, but it felt right for the morning, as mentioned. So, and I did have a bit of coffee, like I say. So, okay, the person, I'm hesitant to start the song because the person that was here isn't here now. Oh, that looks cool. I wish this was a cell phone. It's just interesting how I guess whatever's in the tea and the sugar, can you see that? It looks a bit like, yeah, I think you can see that pretty good. Sudsy, almost like an animal print. Or it's just very textured and interesting. Okay, I mean, I put some content in this, and another thing I often say, and I could. Some people could say, but still, it would still be the case. But some people could say we could only set this to subscribers if that would be better. But I want more opportunity for the people who end up seeing it, not, just because they come across it, to see it, or gain subs that way as well. Plus, although sometimes it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. People either don't come online very often or just videos are quieter. But yeah, that's the main reason, I guess, why I would do it. I'm waiting. But so yeah, but one thing that I was going to say, it's almost like for lack of a better word, disclaimer, or like maybe I should just have it in a document where I could just put it in writing. But then some people will be distracted by what's going on in the video and not read it, or just not think to read it. And then also, that's interesting when I do that, it almost looks like it's saying there's a viewer there. Or also, it's true, and I'm not judging these people, but it's true that some people do struggle with literacy difficulties. Well, I'm not judging most of them. If they're rude, like they have enough literacy ability to write and poke fun at somebody's communication style, whether it's because they're the person, one or both is on the spectrum, or whatever it is. Yeah, I have some feelings. But if that's just how they were born and they can't, then that's where it's video and music is good. So I'm going to do a song, Cassie Brown's, called "Just Be Held." glad to have you here. And you left. So that's motivating. Or at least it looks like you did. But you know what I'm going to tell myself? I'm going to tell myself that I have had it happen, usually after there's been some comments from the person, where it'll say that there's somebody viewing, and then I'll mention, oh, it looks like you left. And they're like, no, I'm still here. But you know what? That's just also not only is it usually when they say something, but it's usually when they've liked pretty quickly, whether they're familiar with me or not. Usually they are, but we're all strangers at first, and sometimes that's you know we can't gel with everybody and all that, but we are more alike than different as people, and you know we're each other's fellow human. How's that for lyrical? Anywho, but yeah, I was gonna say earlier, and it's coming back up, so maybe it's meant to be that with this kind of music, or just in general, I know that there would be people out there that would say, play for the glory of God. He gave you this gift. Play for Him. I feel it's a humongous world, uh, mostly because He created it to be, and He's busy. There's more important things for Him to take care of than hearing me play. But to the average person who, whether they're making great contributions and differences in people's, in many lives, and they're a very successful person, or they're struggling with it, they don't have as much responsibilities as he does. And we don't have to get hugely into religion, but I do sometimes talk about it on here, especially lately. As long as it's done in respect, that's the main thing. And yeah, I don't remember which specific of my recent videos, but definitely I could try and do so and suggest, and you could hear a bit more on my feelings if you'd like. But that being said, what I might be willing to believe is that in passing, be one of those flashers at the top, flashers above, so only for a few seconds or whatever, in passing he might hear little snippets, but who I actually believe will hear more, and I guess that closing breath, are the angels of my loved ones who have passed away. So I'm going to do this with them in mind. It's still not the same as either people in person, which I don't perform out very much because I don't like bars and I don't drive and environments sometimes, or people online. It's not the same. But you know what? I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't special and it wasn't something to me. So since it is and it is, sorry, this if you are getting a view of me doing that each time, sometimes I don't get very much on, or I rub it in too much and then it's soaked in too quickly. Plus, it's near the bottom of the bottle. So, but anyway, so I'm going to do this with my angels in mind. Anybody else who tunes in, great, wonderful. Hopefully they comment as well, or like, subscribe, all that stuff. And then we'll go from there. Still pretty early in the day, so we've got a lot of day before me. So I've got a lot of day before me. Can't believe I'm drinking tea. Hold it all together, everybody needs you strong. Life gets you out nowhere and barely leave you holding on. When you're tired of fighting, chained by your control, there's freedom in surrender, lay it down and let it go. So on your knees and it just seems so far away. You're not alone. Just be held. When the world comes falling apart, and what's the world not? Pause. What's playing? Not something like it sounds like a stupid advertisement. Okay, sorry about that. This tab just became responsive. I don't know if I want to restart. Nobody's here to enjoy it from the top, but no, because I have a few other things I want to do in this video and energy reasons and this and that. No. I just want to check something quickly. Oh yeah, my hair is crazy. You know what? You're gonna have to deal with my hairy chest. This is not a super warm scarf. Deal with my hairy chest. Sorry. The AC's on. For some reason, I'm just warm. Maybe it's the effects of the tea and just I don't know. So I often forget how much chest hair this shirt shows actually. So I'm seeing it on camera or like days when I don't have anything going on, I don't really look in the mirror very much. It's just I get up and do a few things in the morning and then hang around. Hang around, hoping, try it. And, you know. I'm very sorry that this song was segmented, but like I say, I've already been rambling for 31 minutes. I got a couple more songs I still want to do, maybe a bit more rambling to do if people join the chat, or maybe even if they don't. But my throat is. But when I am playing it, let's keep in mind when I am playing it, I think I'm doing it justice. So there's that. And this is a cover. I'm just gonna scroll up a little bit, maybe like a line or two. The throat stop, just holding on, just be held, just be held. If your eyes are on the stone, wonder if I love you still. But if your eyes are on the ground, and it's not meant to sound hugely religious because I know it won't identify with some people, but some lyrics still might. You know, I always have and always will. Not a tear is wasted, and time will understand. Painting beauty with the ashes. While still alive, you have ashes? Okay. Sure, risen from the life is in my hand. When you're on your knees and answers seem so far away, you're not alone. I'm holding on to just be held. The world's not in play. I'm on the phone, stop. Just hold on, just be held. Just be held. Lift your hands, lift your eyes, with the stars around, find me where you are. I hold your heart, I hold your heart. Count on me, find your rest in the arms of me. Won't let go. When you're on your knees and answers seem so far away. You're not alone, stop, just holding on and just be held. I don't know what it is with that site. It always seems to get the last chord wrong, but it's usually, I would guess I would say either the previous one or in this case the first one in the pattern progression, whatever you want to call it. What's this one? Okay. Now that one would be better on the piano, wouldn't it? It would. It would also be better with at least one willing listener. There's a lot on YouTube. People's different things call people's attention, ADHD, things going on in the environment, devices die. Those are the most common reasons why I think either people wouldn't stay or they wouldn't even be here. And it's unfortunate, but it happens. And sometimes it doesn't. So, gotta have a bit of both, I guess. You could call it the yin and the yang if you wanted to. Or the yang and the yin. Now, since I'm going to be over there closer to the AC, I might want this back on. I want this. I better get over there because I got to start playing when somebody tunes in. They won't necessarily. Some of them will. Some people, they won't wait. They're like, oh, we're not already at the instrument and playing. They don't say it, but they give this impression, And part of me thinks, well, don't cater to them. They're way too impatient. But part of me thinks, you know what? I can't. Sometimes I can't afford to be choosy. Neither can I. Sometimes, or, like I just gotta do it. This stuff is just so thick. I'll be all right for the length of the song. Yeah, but am I going to start it right away or am I going to wait for somebody to tune in? I don't know. You tell me, Kay, tell you. Now, this is, though, speaking of the AC or not, though, this is a bit of a softer song. So I don't know if I should keep the AC on. I would hope that somebody would, although people have said they can hear me before, but that's, again, different music, perhaps. My arms might also get full for the process, but otherwise I might just get warm and stuff. But people might say, I can't hear you over that noise. But they may not want to interrupt the song or may think I might not notice. So, and it all depends on people's devices and, settings can be adjusted, audio volume settings, whatever. It's just it's warm and muggy out and kind of noisy because it's a weekday, and I also don't really want to seat to the outside. As far as see, but then I need an internet device to, unless I send some stuff to the messenger offline. But then I said the things I said a little earlier, and I don't know, between this, depending on how much time I take in between and biking there, I don't know. It's also a bit noisy anyway there. I don't know. Tempted to do it that way. Send myself some songs. Like maybe that one I just did. Let me do that. Let me just, you're like, what do you mean do that? You just did it. I just want to, that being said, I'd have to send it. I know I want to do that. I just want to check something for a moment. You know what? I might put the AC on. When I'm doing the music, I'm going to feel warm from doing that, maybe. Although it's not like it's like I say, usually rocking the song, but no, I'm too chilly. This is where this thing actually might be come in handy because because it doesn't have sides to it. You just put it on and it's kind of open, kind of covering. I just wanted to look at something for a moment here. Because maybe I do at least one or two songs, and then I'm also open to meeting musicians, fellow musicians. Oh, right, I have that. Okay, well that's fine. I could even send it there. Well, I'm seeing a create a story, post a note in the same my image. So I don't know. Like if I posted the chords and lyrics, I'm not sure if it would post as a story. I'd be kind of curious actually to see. Friends can see your note on Facebook for 24 hours. I don't know if there's a. It's a small little blurb to paste it in. I think I was trying to post a song like what's on the top of some people's pages. Okay, I had a bit of a typo in there. CZST something for casting and this and that. Also, yes, this does make me think of a thing, but I'm sure me and G on the weekend or beforehand will figure it out and submit to that thing I was talking about last night, that casting call, if we decide that we want to, and then yeah. I don't even really put stories that often in that section. Okay, then it opened up these, but then so it won't let me paste on it, or is it kind of like which I have open to something else right now where it won't if and it's a little high up, but it could work. Let me just see if it would do it here, just because of the mode that it's in. Currently watching, it says. No, it's not pasting it in either way for some weird reason. I don't know how this is going to line up. Not greatly. It's kind of squished. Sure, I could type it. I could type it, in such a way where it's kind of like um, I could format it essentially, but it's a lot of work. Without the guarantee that somebody would drop something in the case or enjoy it, I should be fine with either. Mostly, it's kind of like screw that shiznick. Yes, I said shiznick. Hmm. I'm actually gonna be rolling in 20 minutes, but on seemed like they were there near the end because he was rolling. I think before I left. What was it I went and did yesterday? Right, I went to the hamper. No, it doesn't want to paste it there. I don't know why. So, but then it says keep draft, but there's nothing in it that I can see. Yeah, because as soon as there's something in it, then it gives that option. What I can do, although I was hoping to do this so that I could send myself the chords and lyrics in an offline mode in case I did want to do it there. I've never tried this. Okay. So that's late. I guess I could leave it open. That's probably the better way, as long as it stays, as long as it comes back when I bring it. Bring it. Then it's good. Um, okay. Right now it's semi cloudy from the back, but it's a little bit sunny. You want to do one other thing before I continue? Where I feel most accurate or true, like far as like I'm just gonna go with whatever feels the strongest, I think. And then did I just put that in there? I think I did. Okay. A bit of a diversion, folks. Now I don't know. People will likely be still, well, they may have skipped ahead, like I suggested that they do if they were bored or something wasn't happening. They're gonna be, what's this guy? Why am I watching some guy digging through a freezer? This could be the thing. The guy working at the store. Just kidding. I wouldn't be wearing this. That's the other thing. Would I have something that would, be good to wear for that role? Like I don't even know if I still have my work shirt. Okay, so it wasn't like this the other day, and it's just it's spelling. That's at kind of the middle. I have some things in here I'd really love to eat, but one was from a meeting and it sat out for a little more than an hour, and the other thing, when I got it, the chicken looked a little pinker than I think it should have been, and so our fridge is not that old, but when I opened the freezer, I didn't notice it when I first put this water in here, but then I couldn't remember if I put it in the fridge or the freezer, so I came back and looked, and I noticed things are too early for Frosty the Snowman, or Frost, too early in the year, but things are like, there's extra ice on the ledge, almost like this would like, but on the door shelf, whatever. And then it's very frosty, more than it should be. But when I looked, I just looked, so I don't need to look again. When I looked, it had, it wasn't even at the middle yet, like for coldest. So I don't know why that would be. And he knows. He gets on like, even he's like, well, just give me a treat. We got an extra treat already today. And I don't know. He went up there, so it's good. Okay, so back to the piano we go. And that's right. That's what I had been using this unplugged, so it wasn't plugged in for very long before I decided to come to the piano. So, but I should be able to get a song or two in. Okay, so I got that open. I'd only be able to have that one open then, because they don't seem to send. This is the best site still for the most part. A couple things I don't like about it, but they don't seem to send. That'd be the same whether the thing was in. So. I don't know if it would make any more difference. Right now, I just don't really have the energy. I mean, I mostly have the energy to be podcasting, but barely. So it's like I certainly don't have the energy to go bike for 20 minutes and then painfully wait. No, but like really. That's the only reason. I mean, the other day I had another reason. But that's the other than to get outside, bike ride, and enjoy the atmosphere. Most of the things I'm hoping for have not come to be and don't look like they will. And I don't know what else to hope for anymore. But I hope for continued goodness, and I do hope for better, in some things. And so, I probably should have asked, which, I mean, it's happening even, online, not just when I go out. But, I have to have a certain amount of physical stamina, I think, to go biking, and I don't got it right now. So, oh, that's the other thing. If I bring the pump in the big bag, then it's harder to. That may have been the. I don't know if it was the only reason, but that may have been the reason I didn't do it the other day. If I bring the tire pump, which I wouldn't feel comfortable going without it, especially this distance. I mean, yeah, sure, I could hopefully. The transit system is picky about this, and I really would not like to. I've used it a few times recently, and I really, yeah. And this don't make you pay, even if you had intended to bike, but you had a bike issue. I bet you they would. I could try and get a ride from some random person. That could be interesting, and it wouldn't be very far, probably either, especially by car. Once we got all the stoplights, then I could bring the guitar. We'll see. We'll see how this one is more of a piano one. But yeah, because I don't think I could bring both. It would just be too much on my back. I have thought about biking with it in the front. How does that feel? No, oh, a roll and I don't know. This might be awkward. It certainly looks awkward. Yeah, everybody can do that. The other day, but then I think I got them a bit. Just watch for somebody getting in a car somewhere and say, "Hi, sorry to bother you, but I need to be able to get home." And just hope that you know. I think I give a good vibe and the kindness of strangers in the neighborhood. Okay, but I want to do a couple more songs at least. Actually, I have 3 or 4 lined up still. And sometimes I'm rolling for an hour before somebody comes in, and it's worthwhile. More worthwhile because it's more engaging and it's reaching somebody. Sorry to leave the screen again. I just want to make sure that there's something to bring this. And the tomorrow, he agrees the area is not great. Couldn't bring it in. You don't know that over the yard, but and I said, no, you're living here at your own risk. That's not what I'm paid to do. I'm not paid to guard bikes. People can be stupid, right? But and but sometimes people are not getting enough of what they want or need in life, and they would do things because of it to change that, even if it's not necessarily a good thing to do. So Okay, let's try this. I know it's a big guy. And it's a fight just to keep it together. I know this is lined up badly, but whatever. I know everything here to my God, but never lose hope. Not usually not lost. Hold on, don't let go. Hold on, don't let go. Just take put it right together. Follow the light. Gonna be okay. So I'm messing up a little bit. Tune. Not real well. I know your heart is heavy those nights, but just remember that you're fine. You never know just what tomorrow holds, and you're stronger than you know. You're stronger than you know. Hold on, don't let go. Hold on, someone pushed the head is the person's not. Follow the light in the darkness. I wasn't as familiar. I mean, I've heard it a few times, but I wasn't as familiar with it. This is another nice slow song, which I feel like it's what I'm able to do right now. But as long as it doesn't put me to sleep, or you, for that matter. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the energy. I think I might have to take a little bit of a rest after this before I go out. I know that would be a while, but I wouldn't be out more than an hour. Well, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, and about 15, 20 minutes there. Some part just want to get first class, but can't bring in, like, I do and I don't. I gotta listen to the body as well, right? Yep, you betcha. It's okay to push yourself a little bit, but I think it's important to know when to and when not to. And if you've made it this far, I'll just say, in the video and in general, I guess in life too, um, You know that I've done a couple videos where I have mentioned um, a way in which I hope to try and be a hero other than on here. Um, you know, I have to wait for this to soak in quite a bit, so I guess I'll talk more. And I even did a little acting thing, improvised acting thing, just myself, um, in a video. It has the word reenactment in the title, um, but I don't know if that's actually the right word for it, because that would be reenacting something that, well, it may have been similar to something that already existed. And if there's something like especially similar, not just the theme, I'd kind of be curious. Even though it's a hard and deep topic, I'd kind of be curious to, to see how they do it. I mean, I probably don't have the same means and abilities, but I'm happy with how it turned out. Anyway, and that's kind of the only reason that I'd want to go. And it's not that life isn't worth it, but again, I have to listen to what I physically feel like I'm up to right now. I can still try and make a difference on here, and whether it was a stranger or somebody I knew, which would be interesting. Well, not interesting, but um, like we can't save everybody. We just can't. Even people who have you know nobody can, and we got to just accept that it's some people's journey to leave this earth in various ways, and I'm not saying it's easy to accept, but we have to because do we have a choice? Right? Not really. How much that fits in with this song, I don't know, but I'm going to start. So, and you know what? There's other people around too. So if it's not me there, somebody else might step in and help somebody. I know how much I want to be there in people's times of need and help them in that. And I hope I get more opportunities, not because it's good when people are struggling, but I mean, it's just the way life is sometimes. So, and that's when we need people. And I know I have it in me. I just need the opportunities, just like in a lot of other things. So, regardless of where the day brings me, I hope I get those opportunities in one way or another. And I hope you do as well. And I hope you don't pass them up when you do. I mean, again, you got to know your limits. You got to know, but you don't have to be trained necessarily. You just have to be a fellow person that's experiencing life and has gained experiences and has care and love in your heart. It's really, you know, the only thing that I would say that goes against those things is that people that have a degree often are a bit more successful. Not always. Some people, they self-taught and self-employed or whatever, and they manage. But yeah, I'm gonna kick myself, by the way, just quickly, if I don't cohabitate. But then at the same time, can I really stop it? Like they would maybe provide the volunteers, and the volunteers. I know I sent a message to a social media page for an organization, and it said, please call or email. First of all, why would social media not be okay? Why do I have to email? And then which one of those do I do? I think I know which one I prefer, and I could email the same thing. In fact, maybe I will very quickly do that. The only thing is, Gmail, do I send it? Whoops. I can try and then I'll just say I was having, if I need to say need to continue this here. Oh right, I was looking at my resume. My unhelpful piece of paper that doesn't speak to all of my capabilities, just in a very general sense of my limited work um, experience. But I mean, I'm not going to put lies on it either, you know. So, and getting more experience is sometimes difficult. I go on about this sometimes. I think I would prefer because I'm doing this right now and want to take a step. Whoops. Okay, so that's done. I don't really feel up to a phone call, and I typed it. Yeah, I could just read what I typed, but then I don't know. It's a preference to do it that way, so I did. I don't want to wait too long, but I just emailed, so it seems like that was the way I was meant to do it for now. If it's still eating at me that I'd like to do more than that, and I haven't heard back, then in a little while maybe I will. Scouting. Well, I'm out. If I do go out today, I'm also going to scout for a kind of empty one. But then I might not know what address it is to find out if it doesn't look like there's anything in planning to build, then there probably isn't. Football's not, but again, they do plan to go out. And if you didn't have enough sleep, anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. I kind of want to do these other two songs. At least this one. This one I may or may not feel like I need to learn a bit more and have accompaniment, either karaoke or G. And this one I'm unsure. I think because of one of the lyrics and then if somebody tunes in, I'd like to also ask about this, even though it's not spinning. So I'm going to move it over here. Nobody's here, but hopefully they get here soon. It's iffy to do church theme songs. Memories of old times. Play simple chords. My heart, love. Here's my heart, love. Here's my heart, love. Breaking through, you're more than enough. Inside, trumpets, my bell, big breath. You're more than enough. You're here, you're love, you're hope, you're grace. You're all I have, you're everything. You're my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. Here's my life, Lord. Here's my life, Lord. Here's my life, Lord. Speak what is true. What is true? Speak what is true. I'm going to noodle through this a little bit. I listened to it. I'm going to noodle through it. I'll sit in here and then. Just want to check something quickly. they are a business, they might be quick at getting back. But they also need some time to process and decide. I'm noticing that this is kind of on the top of my head and it's a little distracting. Yeah, I don't always feel it, but that's when I need it the most. So I keep on singing. Maybe so it catches up with my song. So I put my hands up, really ready to let go. Let me There are days when your praise comes uneasy. There are days when it takes all the strength that I've got. So I bring my where's something like that? You might trigger something. Well then let's not jump into action. Heartfelt been through storm tossed torn sail story to tell. Oh, yes, there's nothing quite early into this program. Nice, you coming through, okay. You've been gracious, faithful, whatever I'm feeling or facing. So I'll bring my heartfelt, it is well, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. I wrestle with the darkness, but I'm trying to reach for the light. This struggle keeps me honest, keeps me down the walls of life. Cause if faith isn't proven like gold, cause faith isn't proven like gold till it's been through the fire. Yeah, my hands are feeling heavy. That's why I lift them just a little higher. So I bring my heartfelt into high. Hallelujah. I'll bring my story, toss, turn, sail, story to tell. Hallelujah. Oh, you've been patient, you've been gracious. Faithful through whatever I'm feeling or facing. I'll bring my heartfelt, it's all well. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Heartfelt, been through it. Hallelujah. I'll bring my stone tossed, torn sail, story to tell. Hallelujah. Oh. That one ended in a chord that I don't even think is in the song. Might be in the scale progression or whatever, but I'll look at that one again later. Well, folks, that's kind of all I had planned. It's all I got planned. So, yeah. Guess I'll wrap it up. I hope that the rest of the day is more fulfilling and that somebody may enjoy this afterwards. Just going to take a moment, take a few minutes of silence, in thought and prayer for those who are here and struggling, and for those who aren't anymore, even though they've found immense healing and happiness and peace, I'm sure. Um, but for those left behind from their passing. One for also for numerologies. And to give a bit more opportunity, because I have a question I'd like to ask if somebody tunes in. You're typing though. No, I'm multitasking. You can't hold your body up easily anymore. Sometimes I tell you. I was stretching before the bike ride. Or the bike ride. I thought it would give me rainy out there. Most of them that. I don't want to ask that since nobody here. I'll just wait till next time. Where were you? Where are you? Happy if you're here afterwards and comment too, but otherwise, you're just a little late. Found me lying on the floor. I can't sit at this bench anymore. I have to go to another one. I can't say that it may be fun, but it may be. I did eat a little bit today, but I should probably eat a bit more, have a bit more fuel, and just eat a bit more before I might go out. Maybe I'll feel better if I do. I'm still kind of paneered out though. I like that thing I make. I didn't really get any sauces. Well, I guess it's grass stew, which was kind of bland and boring. And I gave him some to. I guess yeah. I mean, I wanted it after he'd been dipping in it. It's true. We didn't mention that last night, but he put stuff in it, lots of pepper and stuff I wouldn't have liked, and finished it off. So other than that, I don't think I really did get any. I don't know if I feel like pizza though. We do have that. We should eat that soon. It's like I kind of want to because I know I like it, but I don't feel like having it. And I really should probably, even though that was a healthy loaf slice, I don't think I want another bit right now. And I probably should eat something better before I head out. So I might not head out. But anyway, and so if I'm not going to, if I am going to and I'm going to soon, then I don't want to have to put them there. So, oh God. And of course, I forgot my water over there. Anyway, I'm wrapping up. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for making it worthwhile. Just kidding.